Righty. Man, what a day, huh? What a day. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Happy Tuesday, people. Figure we'd pop on for a little bit, cover some of the questions that you guys got. Oh, yes. Although it's Tuesday, feels like Thursday for some reason. Um, I was saying that yesterday. Like, yesterday did not feel like Monday. Today does not feel like Tuesday. So, but either way, we are making it through the week here. Hope you guys are doing well though. And obviously, for free complimentary calls, you could do appointments, you could do online store stuff, link in bio, whether you're on TikTok or YouTube pages. Just going forward for all the questions we cover. That way you can get what you need, get the body back to normal here. So, but yes, there were actually several calls that I did earlier today that people were able to sneak them in there. So that was very, very helpful. Even people across the world. There were some people from other countries too. So, hello, Richard. And then Richard says good night. Hello and goodbye. But, yes. Yes, we got running low on water supply here. We've got to ration our way through the end of the live here. But yeah, what's going on, people? I feel like we actually had a really good live earlier today. So let's try and do that again. Like it up, share it up like crazy. As I let everybody know a little bit earlier, too, we finally got the haircut. So I'm not looking like a monkey anymore. All overgrown and no mullet, you know. Got a little cleaned up. You got to do it. Keep them guessing. Got to clean it up. But yeah, haircut action. Successful Tuesday. Busy day so far. So we are cruising though. And it's what? Almost 8 o'clock. So Eastern time. But yes, hello, hello. Just giving you guys my rambling updates until we get, obviously, our questions will start coming in pretty good there. So, but as always, liking it up does help speed this process up because people, whether you're on either of these platforms, people ask some really good questions. So let's get them up in here, get some exposure. It's 7:50 for me too. So you must be on the East Coast here with me. I look like pale as a ghost on the YouTube page. It's like the freaking, I don't know, the lighting or something, but city boy, what the? I live in the country, my man. Maybe because you heard East Coast? I'm chopping wood every weekend. Don't get it twisted, boss. Hello? I have never heard that place in my life. But hello. Love when, well, now I'm not going to mention you just because you said you want to be mentioned. I have a deviance behavior pattern. So I have stomach pain. Early things, aloe vera juice, highly slept on. Relax also. So relax is the magnesium citrate powder that I carry, and aloe vera juice you would have to get that from a health food store or a grocery store, but it's more than likely a chronic inflammatory response going on here with food responses. Maybe there's some immune activation going on to where you're having mast cells respond, histamine, things like that, which isn't always just food related. Food is a big piece of it, but there are things that go on microbially. I would definitely start doing some sauerkraut and things like that that have both soluble and insoluble fibers and a ton of prebiotics that you can get. So fermented, pickled veggies, which not everybody loves to eat, but if you hate vegetables, then you could do something like chicory root, inulin, and there you can get a lot of short chain fatty acid development out of that, and repair a lot with the GI. Had one a month ago, and I felt like 2 weeks ago. Also, yesterday I experienced again. So could be some development there of immune irritation. I would cut wheat out completely. I know that's a horrible thing to hear, but bread is especially if you're in the U.S. Wheat is terrible. How we make it here, it's sprayed in terrible things, grown on meh soil. I just would cut wheat out completely because it will disrupt the GI. It will lead to things like leaky gut or intestinal hyperpermeability there. So how you start going about that is chicory root, inulin. You could do albizia and chamomile as well, just to help on the inflammatory responses there. So, oh, I love it. We got a hater in here with no bio, no name, no nothing. So, yeah, to the haters, we actually no, I wasn't done answering your question. So some chicory root, some chamomile, some albizia, maybe some magnesium citrate. I kind of depends on what's going on there, but send me a message. Feel free to give us more details as well. Um, I would probably want to run some testing on you to figure out why this is, but those things should help with the initial response. Link in bio. You can get your order sent out to you tonight. So, or I'll package it up tonight, but it'll send it out tomorrow. UPS is not open. Fitness coach says question answer. Um, can I use magnesium citrate without a doc for the GI? Certainly. If you know that you're deficient in some electrolytes and you're not adding them to your daily regime, having heart palpitations or muscles twitching on you, bowel issues, not going, like feeling like you have a bowel movement, but it doesn't completely go through, Um, oh no, I froze. Yikes. But yeah, magnesium just helping a lot with motility in the GI, and obviously it's called Relax. So, or at least mine is called Relax. Cherry flavored, tastes delicious, and you will poop a bunch. Just letting you know. So maybe starting with a half scoop, I would start there. But it depends, because for some people, like I'm actually gonna show you the kava right now. Kava, one of my favorite herbs. Beautiful for stress. So for some people, they're all constipated and things because of a mental stress issue. So for other individuals, it's not the same causal factors. It can be food bound, it could be poor practices with food. That's super common, by the way. Can be microbial things that go on, immune suppression, immune system that's responding to everything. So now it's more autoimmune like behavior. So, like a heightened immune response. Um, you could be deficient in things, you could be in excess. So, it's really figuring out the inflammatory responses first. Whoa. And from there, basically know how to. So it is safe. Yeah, magnesium is, if you have enough magnesium already, it just won't work. So you'll tell you won't be pooping like crazy or anything, but I guarantee the majority of people are magnesium deficient. Even just being around your phone all the time too with the EMF is going to change calcium channel activation, and that will change magnesium behavior because magnesium and calcium are on the same channel there with each cell. So similar to sodium and potassium, you have sodium and potassium pumps everywhere. And I think a lot of people are deficient in those two minerals as well. So you could add some Celtic sea salt to your water. Got to practice what we preach here. Um, we got a bunch of goodies. Vitamin D. There's a lot that plays into it, but it's figuring out the stressors. So if you know you're a high stress person, if you know, all right, my food practices aren't the best, tell me that, and then that will infer because this is really stressor based. So build us out of that framework of condition based things because that's honestly a lot of the questions I get are condition based. And it's like, if you have this diagnosis, what would you do? But the diagnosis doesn't tell me what to do at all. So, very different framework. But so it is safe? Yeah, totally. I think I read that already. What do you think about the combination of magnesium, biglycinate, and malate, and taurate, all in one? I'm a big proponent of whole based or whole food based things. So I don't, or very infrequently do I do things in isolation. So, like when I want people to have sufficient minerals, I'm going to do something like a medicinal mushroom and a glandular. That way you're getting thyroid tissue, liver tissue, and that will have all the cofactors, all the iron, all the B vitamins, all the tiny minerals and micronutrients that you need, plus a medicinal mushroom doing the same thing. It's just with mushrooms, you don't want to get extracts if you want all of the complexities of nutrition there, because this is basically literally the mushroom. So um, I'm getting potassium and minerals and all these things from just doing a mushroom and a glandular. I think that's like one of the smartest ways and budgetarily as well. But check out the stoa. But yeah, I don't do any of the very hardcore specific nutritional things, anyways. Oh man, I dropped this. Hold on. Yeah, cool. Perfect. Um, what did I say about acne? With acne, there's kind of two to three scenarios that I see most commonly. Number one being the most cost effective way to go about things. Doing some form of a liver glandular. That way you can get a ton of vitamin A into the system and help with um, acne that way. Because a lot of even Accutane, like synthetic vitamin A, that's what Accutane is, synthetic vitamin A. So if you can just get that non-synthetic version, like from food, from liver, organ meats, things like that, then you can cover that deficiency. But sometimes it is from hormonal conversions, and sometimes it is from inflammatory issues, inflaming the skin, and then it has to come out that way. But it kind of depends on presentation of it, where it's showing up, how it's showing up, um, if it's dependent on certain timelines or food, things like that. So let us know. Oh my goodness. Does fasting really help with weight loss? It will. Calorie reduction is really the main mechanism there. But certainly any form of calorie reduction will help you lose weight. So even if you just had Twinkies and just cut your calories with Twinkies, don't recommend that at all, but you could lose weight that way. Hello, Marie. How we doing? I've got baggy eyes. What can I do? I would probably focus on some things to do topically, something like castor oil, just to tighten up the skin a little bit, some collagen powder, maybe even a bone broth protein, just to get different forms of the collagen there too. And you could put some gotu kola on the skin topically, one of the liquid herbs that we have here. So all gonna help. Even something like Sisandra as well. So if it's from like major fatigue and energy issues, then we have to fix those. But if it's just a skin thing, there's probably some things we can do. I feel like my electrolytes suddenly drop and all the labs come back normal. It could be the timing of the day there when you get the lab done, that it just looks okay because you've done some installation of electrolytes. But um, yeah, I would increase the electrolytes, because if worst case is that you just pee out extra, that's like the worst thing that could happen. So there you go. Don't go shy on the electrolytes. Good. How are you? Doing pretty well. Sorry for the earthquakes here. Actually, have a question or concern? Ask away. That's what we're here doing. Even the YouTubers, you guys went quiet all of a sudden. Terrific advice coming from the guy, no username. Can low ferritin cause swallowing issues? Yeah, technically, indirectly, but you're going to inhibit thyroid function by not having enough iron storage, ferritin being the storage form of iron. So even if iron's okay, ferritin getting too low, now you can't have the building blocks for a lot of your thyroid hormones and the conversion processes with those too. So yes, you certainly need um, probably some thyroid glandular, a little bit of iodine, a little bit of selenium. I would get your selenium from like Brazil nuts and supplement with thyroid tissue, liver tissue, and iodine. But yes, some stomach acid support could be really helpful too for the B vitamin absorption, iron absorption, putting that ferritin to use. But I would wonder about how heavy your cycles are, because that can be contributing to that. And if you're doing any like specific dietary practices and things. So, okay, let's go here. Where do we have? Did Marie ask? Yes, Marie. So she followed up. Suffer from perioral dermatitis. Any advice clearing flare ups? That's going to be coming from the inside. So I know they said seeing a dermatologist, right? And doing that, you'll get a cream that will make the rash and issue die down as long as you're using the cream. Um, However, if you don't apply the cream, or after that steroid doesn't work anymore, or antibiotic or whatever they choose to do, it's coming from the inside. It's coming from the GI, is basically what I'm saying here. That's why you have that issue. I would test food allergies. I would do a genoma test. I would start immediately taking Albizia and Nettleleaf. You'll see that inflammatory reduction start to come down. But it is a matter of rebuilding things from a microbial and immune standpoint within the GI. So even if it's on the face, that is where it's coming from. Um, and yes, let me know if you need the labs. Um, does me being IBS girly make it worse? How'd I know? How'd I know, folks? um, because it's so common to have a gut issue. So, I mean, yeah, free complimentary call in bio. You could schedule that all on your own, and we could start going after things. But at the very least, some Albizia, some Nettleleaf, you can order that. Link in bio there. We got the online store all hooked up, but I would probably put the order in and make a free call, because we can walk through the next best steps too. Because you don't have to have IBS, it's a response. So, heck yeah. Nas. Hello, Nas. How we doing? Been a little bit, huh? So, but yes, good question so far. For a, what is it, like 8 p.m.? Not too shabby. Oh my goodness, Addie. Addie has the knee. Hopefully not doing too bad. Came back from a knee sprain 4 weeks ago. Now it hurts. Yes, it will definitely hurt. Um, Nas, you're always calling me out whenever I look tired. Um, Thanks, Nas. I am tired, dude. It's like freaking 8 p.m. Been working since like 6 o'clock. So in the morning, not 6 p.m. Um, but Addy, yes. So issues with I would not be playing soccer right now. I would let your body heal. If you're having pain, that's a signal that something's wrong. You have injured tissue. You only have two knees, so let's not wear them out. You know. But yes, not here to be liked. Here to be giving the best possible next best steps to you, folks. Okay, wait. Keep dropping this stuff over here. Before was different. Something must be changed. Yeah, it's the coffee wore off, I guess. Okay, Miss Haley. Yes, that's where we left off. I have very few safe foods, and they're all carbs. Oof. So I gained a lot of weight and lost my muscle. Do you have suggestions on foods to try and incorporate? I would be doing I'll be doing a food allergy test. I know I've talked about that test a bunch in the last couple lives, but that's going to give you a lot of control. It's going to look at 110 foods and figure out which, even the healthy foods, which ones you should and should not be doing. Um, in the short term, can you do some Albizia tincture? 100%. Link in bio there. Some chamomile to help with the mast cells, to help with the mucosal membranes and the histamine responses taking place, even the H2 receptors in the stomach. If it's really flaring up that much, I would do Albizia, chamomile, and nettle leaf. So, stores in the bio there. Um, Obviously, if you're in the US, you can get this stuff. If you're not, apparently there's some issues with basically any supplement company uh, shipping overseas. So, hopefully in the US, but yeah, those are basically three different tinctures that are going to work on. Two of them working on mast cells like crazy, and then the other one working on some stress responses, some GI mucosal lining. Um, Obviously, all of them are going to be somewhat antimicrobial, but not very aggressive. So they're great initial inflammatory reducing things as we can wait on probably getting a lab test. So book a free call in there as well. We can walk through all that stuff. Lead you in a good direction here. It's because it's because I have an upcoming semifinal game with the boys team. Coach had me come practice no matter what. Yeah, that's tough. It's tough on the athletes. I was an athletic trainer for a couple years, so I get it. I've heard good things about Nettle Leaf. I'm in Canada, unfortunately. I guess it depends on how close to the border you are in Canada, because I have some patients that are really close to the border, and they have like a PO box that they ship everything to. So, um, I don't know. Kind of depends though. There's weird rules around that, but I believe Hawaii farms could be one that you might be able to get outside the US. So check on that. But yes, I'm determined to go no matter what. Hey, love the energy there. Gotta. Got to. Ugh. How is it only 8:11, dude? I feel like I've been going for 2 hours. Jeepers. Jeepers. Okay, cool. Well, let's see. What's this button do? A guest request. Could I do that? Is that going to be weird? Is it going to be like some weird person that comes in? Is that even, I guess it's allowed, right? If the patient's saying they want it. Sorry, I'm just looking through all the different settings and stuff. There's a lot of freaking settings in here, dude. I just hit the live button. Alternatives to Prolia for osteo? Yeah, I mean, osteo what? Porosis, arthritis? It would kind of depend on what's taking place there. If it's more of porosis, then you want to get something like bone broth protein in. You want to up your proteins like crazy. Um, okay, yes. So porosis, 77-year-old female. You want to do some black cohosh because you're in a menopausal stage. So, um, isn't there Evenity, osteo? But yeah, black cohosh just to help with the estrogen receptors because they're heavily involved with bone metabolism. So black cohosh, some bone broth protein that will give you beef and chicken ground up bone marrow. Yeah, you actually spelled that right. Cohosh. That's pretty impressive. Um, but yeah, with those two things, you're getting estrogen receptors to be stimulated and respond better so that you can have better uh, bone metabolism. Plus, with the bone broth protein, you can be directly feeding that. Now you look at something like vitamin D levels, maybe even supplemented with extra K2 in there too. And now you can mobilize and pull calcium into the bone, actually. So if it's immediate, like pain and things like that, you could do maybe cat's claw. But I would start with those, to where you're doing bone broth protein, you're doing some vitamin D3, K2, you're doing boswellia, and definitely fermented veggies too, because there's a ton of K2 within fermented vegetables. So things like sauerkraut. I know it doesn't taste that good. Some people love the taste, but even if it doesn't taste that good, it's going to save you like $60 on a supplement. I would also wonder if you've had your gallbladder removed because that has a lot to do with um, the emulsifying of fats and getting to utilize those things. So yes, but black cohosh, bone broth protein, vitamin D3, K2, and this is just based off what I know so far. So obviously there can be some more details. You can dial in things with food and stuff, but for complimentary calls, things like that, or just ordering what I mentioned, click on the profile link in bio there. Sorry, sometimes I rattle off the supplements really quick, and when I'm saying something like Cassandra and Astragalus and what's another crazy one? And Makuna seed and ginkgo and gotu kola. Sometimes it's like, what the hell is this guy saying? So I gotta slow it down, I guess. You've got a cold, so you can do some Galodo Silver nasal spray, elderberry with reishi and honeysuckle as a dropper is fantastic. Also, echinacea. Questions fire away. Look like Daphne Keene. Ooh, Haley. Mast cell activation. Elderberry works wonders. It does. High mast cell activation. So definitely the nettle leaf and the albizia, because those are working directly on those cells. It affects my whole body, but especially the GI. Of course. The immune system can change every system, including neurological. And nervous and immune are the two primary systems. So if there's something going on with the immune system, you will feel it everywhere, even in the GI. That makes total sense. Okay. Um, Hello from Kurdistan. Hello. Do you do remote? Yes, I do. Yeah, if you click on the profile, there's a website link in there, and that'll get you an intro call or a complimentary consult. That way, we can dial in what to do, what's needed, if additional labs are needed, or if you already have labs, we can get those sent over and do things the right way. Get a blueprint going, make a plan to get back to normal. the whole purpose of the Wellness Ways care is to get you out of care. And if that's not the goal the whole time, you're going to be there forever. So, yes. What do you know about Graves' autoimmune? So, you need to find the autoimmune triggers. Vitamin D needs to be way higher than you would think. Um, I hesitate to give numbers on that because it's going to vary per person, vary with their size. So, careful on dosage with that. But with oddly enough, I said this earlier, soy milk twice a day, which is usually never something that I recommend. But in the case of Graves, you do soy milk twice a day. Make sure it's the best darn form that you can find because that's going to slow thyroid function down a ton. And it'll help initially, but really how you start going after it is finding out the immune triggers, getting inflammation down. Again, the albizia, the turmeric, things like that that are going to help the liver and the GI convert things out of the body that's not supposed to be there. But food's going to have a huge role on this. You should not be consuming wheat or, frankly, any grains whatsoever. This is the hard part that people don't like hearing. They're like, "What supplement do I take?" That's the fun part. The hard part is cutting out the emotional foods. But we've got support if you get sassy. It's, we got support. So, but yes, we need to find the autoimmune triggers. Okay, I'm gonna skip to Jessica because we were just talking about her. Wheel vitamin D, soy, etc. help with Graves' rage. It will initially. That is not the end of the journey, though. That is a great starting point. I think you could throw in albizia in there. I think you could throw in turmeric in there because the liver's going to be involved with this a ton, and maybe even something like cat's claw. But I would need to know more about your immune system and what it's reacting to, so that we could support the right pathways. So, really good question though. Maybe something like California poppy and Alcydonia will help more than just those two alone, just because it's massive stress reduction there. Peptides question mark. I don't use them. Ozempic's a peptide. Black box label warning for thyroid cancer. Ways to regulate the nervous system. There's a bunch of ways. You can do vibration plates, exercise, sleep, um, certain foods, high GABA rich or magnesium rich foods. You could do pelvic blocking. You could do cervical den rolls, rebound or trampolines. Um, yeah, there's a lot, but it depends on the approach. You could take something like kava and relax the immune system or nervous system very quick within 10 seconds. So kava's like a massive anxiety reducer, but that's by getting adrenaline down. Can't sleep at night as soon as I lay down. I feel like I gotta get up and walk around. Yeah, some alcydonia. That way you can have L-theanine, passion flower. Those are going to hit all the GABA receptors, especially passion flower. There will be GABA in there, most calming neurotransmitter, and B6 too. So Alcydonia is great. Plus California poppy, I'd probably pair that with that, um, just based off what I know. But you can argue valerian or some other things. Thank you. Chronic conditions. Well, yeah, it's a different approach. So I too suffer from anxiety. California poppy and kava, man. Wonderful combination. Getting norepinephrine down, epinephrine, even helping out with some dopamine and serotonin, helping out with pain. Fantastic. Fantastic. My two favorites. Because everybody interacts with mental stress. If you're in a relationship, if you have kids, grandkids, if you have a job, if you have anything going on, even if you don't have anything going on in your life, it's still stressful. So, um, yeah, I mean, there's some deficiencies that can come into play, but supporting early on, you can get some good changes and do some rebuilding too, so that you're not having to keep taking stuff. So, okie doke. normal potassium range, it's really hard to test potassium in the blood. So the majority of it is inside the cell, which makes RDAs much more attainable for dosing. Started magnesium over the weekend. Seems to have worsened my diarrhea. It's not worsening it. You're just getting rid of it. So, hardworking single parent. Yeah, no kidding. Um, support your stressors, man. It's going to change everything in your body. So, but yes. All right. We've got almost 8:30 here. So if I didn't get to your questions or you guys want an introductory call, completely free, or I have addressed your questions and you're trying to get some of the supplementation here, link is in bio. You could obviously send me DMs and things like that too, but I will be back here tomorrow. We'll try and keep on the frequency of lives here. You guys have been loving it, asking wonderful questions, but I am going to peace out for tonight.